In this explainer, we're going to break down the fundamentals of supply chain planning right inside the world of SAP S4Hana. If your goal is to really master SAP's production planning module, well, you have come to exactly the right place. So here's what we've got on tap. First, we're going to tackle the huge problem modern businesses are up against. Then, we'll look at SAP's big picture solution. After that, we'll dive into the nitty-gritty mechanics you really need to know, put it all into the context of the S4HANA ecosystem, and finally, we'll talk about why all of this is so critical for your career. Okay, let's dive right in. To really get why the solution is so powerful, you first have to appreciate the massive scale of the challenge that we're all facing. I mean, come on, we all know the answer to that, right? It's a definite no. But it's one thing to feel it, and it's another thing to see the hard numbers behind it. Because even as the world gets smarter, for businesses, it is absolutely not getting any simpler. Okay, first up, just think about the sheer scale of human connection. Nearly 7.5 billion mobile users. Now, for a supply chain planner, that's not just a market. That is a constantly shifting, totally unpredictable web of demand signals firing off all at once. And hey, it's not just people with phones. We're talking about the Internet of Things. A massive, massive digital network of, well, pretty much everything. Over 20 billion devices, from sensors on a factory floor to smart shipping containers, all chattering away, all generating information. So you take all those people and you add in all those devices, and what do you get? This, an absolutely staggering explosion of data. Get this, 90% of all the data that exists in the entire world was created in just the last 2 years. Trying to plan a supply chain in that kind of environment? Yeah, it's like trying to drink from a fire hose. And that brings us to the real kicker. All this amazing innovation has created this powerful and dangerous side effect, a level of complexity that can literally cripple a business trying to keep up. This, right here, is the core problem that modern planning systems are designed to solve. So, how in the world do you fight back against that kind of complexity? Well, let's take a look at SAP's big idea, something they call the Digital Value Network. This is a really fundamental shift in thinking. We're not talking about separate departments in their own little silos anymore. The whole idea is to create one single digitized platform where every part of the business, from your suppliers to your workforce to your customers, is all interconnected and visible in real time. So what's the payoff? You get a much smarter, faster enterprise. You can suddenly enable real-time processes that were just impossible before. You can engage your workforce more effectively, you can collaborate with your suppliers like they're in the next room, and you can finally start using all that big data instead of just being buried by it.
All right, let's zoom way in. For all of you out there studying to be SAP planners, these next few slides, well, you got to know this stuff inside and out. This is the absolute heart of SAP production planning, or PP.
First up, we have demand management. Think of this as the system's front door for any and all demand. It's how we get a handle on requirements that come from outside our own production process, like, say, a sales forecast. We call these independent requirements because they don't depend on another production step inside our company. Now, a key tool for this is the PIR, or Planned Independent Requirement. This is pretty cool. This is where a company uses its sales forecast to basically give itself a head start. It allows them to start producing things or buying materials before a customer order even exists. And that is absolutely crucial for slashing delivery times in a make-to-stock world. Okay, this next one is a super important distinction every planner has to get right. MRP versus consumption-based planning. Think of it this way. MRP is all about looking forward. It calculates what you need based on future stuff, like sales orders and those PIRs we just talked about. Consumption-based planning, that's reactive. It looks backward at how much you've used in the past and only triggers an order when your stock drops below a certain point. Two totally different approaches for different situations. And this is where the magic really happens. In a multi-level planning run, the system starts with the customer, with the date they want their delivery. It then explodes the bill of materials, the BOM, to see every single part it needs. It checks the routing to see how long it takes to make everything, and then, this is the beautiful part, it does what's called backward scheduling. It works backwards from that due date to tell you the absolute latest possible moment you can start production and order every single component to deliver on time. It's brilliant. Great! So now that we've got a handle on the core planning logic, let's pull back out again and see how all these tools actually fit into the bigger SAP S4HANA ecosystem. Right at the center of everything, you've got S4Hana. This is the digital core. Think of it as the central nervous system for the whole business. It's built on the incredibly fast in-memory HANA database, and it gives users a modern, clean experience through what's called the SAP Fiori interface. But S4HANA isn't an island. It integrates seamlessly with a whole family of other specialized cloud solutions. So whether you're talking about collaborating with suppliers through the Ariba network or managing your entire workforce with HR tools and success factors, everything is designed to plug right back into that single digital core. Now, as a future planner or consultant, you also need to understand the deployment options. The big difference here really comes down to flexibility versus standardization. Private Edition gives you the whole shebang, the full scope, and lets you customize things deeply. Public Edition, on the other hand, is a more standardized, out-of-the-box solution based on best practices. Knowing which one a company needs is a really vital skill. So, we've covered the problem, the solution, the nitty-gritty mechanics, and the whole ecosystem. Let's wrap this up and connect all the dots. Why does any of this really matter? Ultimately, this is what it's all about. Mastering a system like SAP S4HANA isn't just about learning software. It's about learning how to help a company navigate that crippling complexity we saw at the beginning and actually turn it into a genuine competitive advantage. That's digital transformation. And that leaves us with one last question to think about. We've seen how planning has evolved to meet the complexity of today. But as business gets even faster, even more connected, what's next? What does the next evolution of planning look like? And what new tools will the planner of tomorrow need to master? All right.